Welcome to this new Addon Spotlight. In this Addon Spotlight we're gonna look at the Lockheed Harpoon Victor number 2, which is an FSXM port over, which means it's, I would say, not created from scratch. It's a nice airplane, offered with 8 different aircraft models with 11 repaints, mostly in US Army and Air Force Goose. 3 civilian repaints are also included. The cockpit is based on a King Air cockpit, and it's, let's say, having a lot of functionality like the trim, the throttle, the pitch and the flaps. There's one thing which you need to keep in mind is that you can't start the aircraft currently manually, so you either need to start from the runway or you need to start from the air, as I'm currently doing. There's no way to get it, I would say, up and running from scratch. So let's have a look at it. So here it is. You can see we're already airborne. You can see that the quality of the aircraft from a distance looks pretty nice. If we would come a little bit closer, then you will see that it requires some, I would say, more painting. If you can look at the details here, some of the aircrafts, right, I would say the ones which are created from scratch have some more detail. But it looks nice, and it's, I would say, nice to fly with. So let's click ready to fly to figure out what's working and what's not working. So currently we're already airborne. So first test is, of course, the cameras, and it looks like that the cameras are working. And as already described, you have the yoke, which I did hide, is a Beechcraft King Air, and that's also applicable to the rest of the cockpit. So let me increase the throttle a bit, because you can see, if I would say, if you did fly a Beechcraft King Air, you will recognize everything, right? So most of the functions are working, but as mentioned, I would say starting from scratch is currently not supported, so keep that in mind. If we would look from the outside, you also hear, say, nice engine sound. There are some limitations. For example, I tested changing the flaps and, I would say, moving around. And you don't see, I would say, the moving parts from the outside. So that's something you need to live with currently. Hopefully they will adjust it later on, because those flaps are working. Because if we would move the button, you can see that it's working as expected. And you can also see that the airplane reacts on that. So that's really nice. So let's make some moves. Decrease speed a bit, because we're going a little bit too fast. And let's see if autopilot is working right. So let's do that. Let's switch on the autopilot, which we can do here. Let's change the altitude a bit. To, well, let's always say 3500. No, let's do 4000, and then select flight director. Let's switch it on. Let's do the vertical speed. Need to have a close look at what it's set. 1200 feet per minute looks a little bit too much. Let's change to 700. And we're gonna fly on heading, right? Let's do that. So we just enabled the autopilot, as you can see, but it says, hey, the yaw damper is off. Well, that's something we need to select here. And then the yaw damper is off and the pilot heat is not on. Well, that isn't an issue for now. Let's focus on the rest of the aircraft, right? So let's go, say, inside. You can see some passenger seats here. You might not expect them in a military airplane, to be honest, but it looks like that they've added it, and due to the fact that they also provided with passenger livery, that might be the reason why they added this. I'd say it looks really nice. if this would be the inside of a military airplane. Do we see the pilots from the outside? No, unfortunately there are some. I would say if you look from this part you can see them, but if you're going to here you don't see them anymore. But I think that's applicable to most of the aircrafts. Pilots are sitting back and relaxing. You can see that they are adjusted to be really military air pilots. You can see this one. Looks like he's really, let's say, old school pilot. Also applicable to the person sitting next to him. The engine details. Yeah, engines are making a lot of noise, but that's cool. The engine itself is, I would say, yeah, pretty nicely developed. I've seen nicer engines, but hey, again, it was a port from the other flight simulator, right? Flight Simulator X. We're going way over speed. So the warnings are also not working 100% correctly, as you can see, because it should have provided us already with a warning that we're going far too fast. So we're gonna use this one to set the maximum speed if it works. Yeah, it's moving here, so I can also do it with the mouse, right? It's not walking too fast, as you can see. It's moving slowly down. Really slow. really slow. So there's some work to do there, but hey, never mind. If you can live with that, that's not an issue. As mentioned, the rest of the buttons are working, so you can even use, I would say, schedule a flight, right? Because it contains all the functionalities you need based on the, I would say, on the Beechcraft Air cockpit. So you can easily use these buttons, right, to do a lot of things. You can schedule your flight plan from here, etc. So a lot of cool things, I would say. Is it 100% ready? I wouldn't call it that way, to be honest. But it's a good starting point, and I would say it's nice to fly with, right? If you like old Navy airplanes, then this is probably an aircraft which you want to give a try. So, for example, if you like the Junkers aircraft, this one might also be added to the list. Be aware that the Junkers one is created from scratch and this one isn't. The other thing is that this one is for free, so I will put the download link in the description of the video so you can give it a try yourself. Here ends this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you've got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.